It's FA Cup third round picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code PLGP to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, the 8th of January. We are here to have a little look around a fascinating week of football in the Premier League AFL Cup. We got some managerial shenanigans going on. FA Cup started tonight. And we'll have a look around the third round fixtures, which take place, well, already started, and then all the way through to Monday night. Joining me to get amongst all of that is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what's happening?
I'm cold, Malcolm. Very cold. It's cold, isn't it? Have you been out there? Cold, yeah. Have you been outside?
Oh, aye.
It's cold. You don't want to go outside. I'm a bit sick of the cold now. I'm sick of not having any football. For the kids, it's doing me head in. It's doing the kids' head in. Look at the forecast for this weekend. It's not going to happen this weekend either. I'm getting sick of it now.
Well, I've been at football every night this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It just takes ages, Baz, because now they're a bit bigger as well. Training used to be like 6 till 7, but that's for the little ones. So now they do 7 till 8 because they're a bit bigger. So I have to leave here at 6:15 to get across town. Then you've got to sit 7 till 8. Then they finish late. It's like 2 hours out, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we've done, and he's got a game tomorrow night. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before we get into the actual scheduled Saturday and Sunday games. So it's been absolutely non-stop, Baz. But it is cold. While we're on the subject of weather not being flippant, I know that this company is very much based in Los Angeles in California, and the scenes over there have been absolutely horrific. The kids, we just put the 10 o'clock news on there. The kids stayed up and watched 10, 15 minutes. I showed them the photo in the video that Ryan had put up on Twitter yesterday of his little commute back in the dystopian skies that were above Eagle Rock, where they're based. So hope everyone is staying safe as much as possible. Awful situation. Back to the football, Baz. We got some who's in the chat tonight. Callum was first in. Callum's complaining about the Peterborough manager. Are you complaining, Callum, that Ashley Young's son didn't get on? Was that the problem? I think if the game had got away, it was maybe 2 or 3-0, that he might have given him a game. But they didn't score the second goal until the 97th minute or what have you. So that was the end of that. Courtney/Patrick mentioning the Christmas fund off to a good start for next year. Ryan Jones, rare opportunity. Welcome, Riley and Cree and Jason as well. Nice 23 degrees where Jason is, very tidy. But really fascinating week, Baz. We go night by night because there was good games and a lot of talking points on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday was the end of the Premier League week. So when we did the show on Sunday night, we'd only had 9 games, sitting on a nice 6-3, and then smashed into Nottingham Forest at an unbelievable price again to take me to a tidy 7-3 for the week. Did you take the overs in that game, Baz?
Yeah.
So the 93rd minute breakaway got you over the line. So that was a brilliant finish to the weekend, and Forest keep on rolling. And while we talk about Forest, Barry, I want to take you on a trip, Barry. I want to take you on a trip back in time. We're going. I don't know if you remember, Barry, the summer of 2024. I invite everyone to join us on a trip back to the summer of 2024. The Paris Olympics were in full swing, Barry. Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish were #1 in the Billboard charts with the tune Guess. and people in the UK were willfully pushing flaming wheelie bins into immigrant-filled hotels for entertainment. It was a halcyon time, Barry. But what also happened in the summer of 2024 was we did our £1 million show, Barry, which people will be well aware is we take a mythical £1 million, we throw it around, willy and nilly, on season-long bets, Barry. That's bets that last this season. Season goes right up till May, by the way. So no one's ever won a bet by now, Barry, in the £1 million show.
Malcolm,
Well,
I did.
I'll credit. Go on, mate. Sorry.
I put a fork in one of mine last week, didn't I? I declared the death of one of mine. So some of these bets can end halfway through a season. That can happen.
So I'm going to credit Kev Matthews, my mate, the fat Spaniard, because he alerted me to this because I'd kind of forgot about it. So I've got the clip here. This was August the 11th, Barry, 2024. And this is what's happened on the Premier League Gambling Podcast £1 million show. So my first play, but I'm going to go highest amount first. Is that the plan? Right. So first up, Barry, I've got £350,000, Baz, on. Might surprise you, this one. Nottingham Forest over 38 points. It's 6-5 plus 120. So they accumulated 36 last year. They finished on 32 because they had a 4-point deduction. This year, PSR-wise, they're fine. I've consulted with Nibs. Nibs says they're absolutely fine because we sold them Elliot Anderson at an exorbitant rate. And I just think they'll be better second season under Nuno. Them along with Wolves suffered tremendous VAR bad luck. So that should normalise a little bit. 38 points is too low. Like, I can see Forest easily getting up to 14th, 13th this year and being around the 44 points mark. So 350 grand, Baz, wins me 770. Forest over 38 points at 6-5. Yes, bosh, Barry. Get in the queue. I'll be honest, you clipped that up, and I think you've done me a disservice at the end. You should have cut the bit off before I said they're going to finish 14th and get 44 points, because that makes me sound a little bit less clever than I did just for the pick. But 770 grand in the hutch, Barry, on January the 6th, as Nottingham Forest reached the 40-point mark. I'm smelling myself a bit on that one, Baz. Are you buzzing for me?
I'm really happy for you. That was a good pick.
I can tell.
I was delighted. As I look at my £1 million show picks and think, I'm struggling here. I'm really struggling. Unless Isak can reel Salah in and take top scorer, or I think I'm relying on Man City finishing bottom of the league. I need those FFP charges to come to fruition soon. Man City bottom of the league is another pick I've got going with me. But yeah, the rest of mine aren't looking great, I'll be honest.
Yeah, brilliant. Tuesday night then, Baz. Arsenal, Newcastle 2. I'll get the pick out the way. The corners. It was rubbish. I didn't want to make it. I told everyone I didn't want to make it. Actually, I felt like they got in lots of corner winning positions in the first half, but they just didn't do what Arsenal did every time they get it, rattle it off the defender's knees for a corner. So it could have won on another day, but it didn't. But the betting part of it paled into absolute insignificance to the absolute tremendous victory for Newcastle. They were absolutely magnificent, Barry. Fully deserved the win. How outcoached Arteta entirely again, which he just seems to do every 8 weeks. I just thought Newcastle were brilliant. Don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to jinx anything. You know how shitey I get. But yeah, my pick, I think you had a winning picks. You had a winning pick to back up the fact that it was a great result for Newcastle. 2 winning picks.
2 winning picks. I took Newcastle on the double chance was one of them, and the other one was the unders. So I thought Newcastle. I even said Newcastle underdogs were 15-4. I thought it was good value. I said the safer player was obviously Newcastle double chance. That was 11-10, so that was a plus money price. And the unders was 6-5, so 2 plus money winners put out on that game. As you say, outstanding performance. It had everything. Really, really good going forward in the first half in particular. But then backs to the wall second half, just absolutely outstanding from everyone, really. Really good. And as you say, only part of the job done. So not wanting to get too carried away, but 3 straight away wins for Newcastle United at Old Trafford, Spurs and Arsenal. That's never happened in my life, that sort of run at them sort of grounds, because they're the grounds where we just don't win. So to do it 3 in a row, and 4 of our last 5 games now have come away from home, and we've won them all. You know, we talked early in the season about Newcastle's away form. That's the really encouraging thing at the moment. Bang in form, but it doesn't matter where it is at the moment. We'll take on anyone anywhere. So long may it continue.
Riley had a winner on that game. Newcastle at 3-1, and the double chance, and over 1.5 goals, and an Isak goal. So Riley, the only issue I've got with that, Riley, is Newcastle is 1 word. It's not 2 words. Come on, keep up. Wednesday night was just as surprising. Underdogs again. So we had underdog winners on both nights. Would have paid about 20-1. Newcastle 15-4, Tottenham 7-2. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 0. That was the pick I was confident in. Miles away. Liverpool have been poor against Man United. They were poor again last night. The one thing I laughed at myself last night was, after I made my case about a month ago for just betting Tottenham, whatever, when they're a good price, because they will do it, and then they lost a couple and I lost my nerve and I shut that system down, is they're going at 7-2, because that's what they're going to do. And I was right a month ago when I said it. But you've got to have the nerve. It's the old close your eyes special. You're not supposed to like it. You have to hold your nose and dive in. And they've gone and done it again. Tottenham were really good. I thought Archie Gray was great. Bergwijn was great. The other one thing I want to point out here is that goalie. What's his name? Kimski. 100% the law of diminishing returns, Barry. That was the perfect. Were you going to mention that? That was the perfect setup for it. That was the classic. Comes in at short notice and is absolutely outstanding. Give him 3 weeks, he's going to be throwing them in left, right, and centre. So I enjoyed that a lot.
I wanted to bring that up because some of the stuff, I mean, social media is just wild. Like Spurs fans last night, it was like it's just mad how one result can just change everything. I even seen someone saying the debut from Kinski last night in goal was the best debut he'd ever seen for a Tottenham Hotspur player in the history of the club. Like no player had a better debut. It was properly over the top. Lad had a great game, and Spurs played well. But it's how quickly everyone was coming out. You know, oh, anyone who was on Andrew's back, what do you think now? It's like it's one game, one result. I mean, very similar, you know, with Man United at the weekend. Good performance against Liverpool. But I'm saying Man United fans again who think everything's back. That's it, they're back. I haven't said. Did you see Martinez's interview after that game? By the way, no. Like there was, what's changed, and he was just like, "It's all in the mind." Like it was properly like we've just got it. We've got the mindset. We got it right. We know what we're doing. We knew what we needed. Like it was a draw. You got 1 point, first one in a long, long time. Like wait until them big statements just need to come a few weeks down the line when you've sort of backed it up a little bit. You know, it was a little bit bonkers.
The other thing I enjoyed after the Tottenham-Liverpool game was the instant karma for Ange Postecoglou. I still quite like him, but one of the things we have with Klopp and everybody else that we have an issue with is be one thing or the other. Be a sound bloke or be a knobhead, but just stick one and choose one and stick to it. The instant karma of him not wanting to follow the rules on Sunday against Newcastle on Saturday, and then he was a stickler for the rules last night. Like, which one is it, Ange? Make your mind up. Normally, you would have to wait 8 or 9 months for that kind of thing, but within 72 hours, the instant karma made me piss purple last night. I thought it was fucking great.
He was wrong in what he said as well, because he said,
well, he just made that up. That was a new. We've said before, there's new rules all the time in football. You hear a new rule, don't you, that you never heard of before? And Ange made one up last night.
Yeah, he said if you don't stop the play and it's not a cynical foul, then you don't go back and book the player. However, the next part of that write-up says, if it's a second yellow card, then you don't carry on playing. You stop the player to give the red card.
Okay.
So he should have been sent off. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, and obviously he will not put his hands up and say, yeah, we got lucky. All things were equal tonight. All things were equal. Liverpool might have got a
brilliant
draw.
timing. Absolutely brilliant.
But, it's one of them. The weekend was a conspiracy against Spurs. Last night, it was against Liverpool. Everything's a conspiracy in it. I mean, the Arsenal game, there was a problem with the football, but the same football everybody's played with all of the tournament. That was a problem for Arteta, wasn't it?
Well, he got hung out to dry there because someone asked him a question, so he answered it. But it's funny, I just do say that he had to whinge about the football. So yeah, I enjoyed the timing of that. Was brilliant. But like I said, double bubble underdog Newcastle and Tottenham makes it fun for the second leg for the neutral, especially. Enjoyed all of that. And then the FA Cup tonight, I had 1 out of 2. Fulham and both teams to score 13-10 wasn't a bad price. They won 4-1. Took both teams to score in the Everton game. Peterborough had a few chances first half. One goalmouth scramble, I thought they'd scored, and then they hadn't. So yeah, the picks were few and far between, sort of on the show last week, and didn't cover ourselves in glory. But coming off the 7-3 Premier League weekend, quite happy with that, Baz. A couple of managers that we'll get into. Let me read out this stuff first, though. SGPN got the NFL playoffs completely and utterly covered. NFL picks and props. So get on the app or go and follow them wherever you do. And we are kindly and proudly sponsored by DraftKings. Talking of NFL playoffs, getting on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code SGP. That's SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
So yeah, a couple of managers got the 9-10 jack this week. In chronological order, Lopetegui. I don't know what West Ham were doing. Not only did they sack him, but they made him look a right twat for 2 days before they did it. I backed him at Christmas, although we've lost Ten Hag and we lost Russell Martin as well before that. So I knew he was going to get sacked, but I didn't quite get him there. And Graham Potter comes in. I like Graham Potter. He's a little bit different. I think it's a really nice fit, actually, for West Ham. It's the right style of club because we've seen Newcastle get Champions League. We've seen Villa do it. We've seen Forest now up there this year. That's the size of club that can have a little go. And West Ham should be able to do that. And they've got some good players. They've got a decent framework already. Owners aren't so much, aren't as popular. But I think Potter can do it. I liked what he did. And he's one of these sort of new breed. And then Everton talking about new breed, old breed. Sean Dyche, who we took the piss out of a little bit last week. He was sacked today. It's a weird one because he is a little bit of a relic. He was living in the past. But we've said a few times, he will keep Everton up. We can't laugh at Southampton and at the same time have a go at what Everton were doing. But really, Everton should be aiming a little bit higher. Like, sort of morally, ethically, they should be trying a little bit harder than doing what they're doing. Hopefully, they remain absolutely shit and lose every week. That would be great. But it remains to be seen. I've got no thoughts on who would be the new Everton manager. Other than it definitely won't be Jose Mourinho. So if he's still odds on Betfair, just
He's
go and
not.
lay him for everything you've got. There's not a chance. The same owners had him at Roma, the Friedkin group. They hate each other. No chance he's getting that job. If he was about 8-11, so you can lay that if you want on the machine.
He's
Get
91
involved
now, man. He's you're not getting
because
that.
he drifted.
Yeah, David Moyes is the favourite, 1-5. David Moyes to come back in.
Because that always works well, doesn't it? People going back.
Yeah, it was my first thought when they got rid of Dyche. I thought Moyes was the first thing that came in my head. So they reckon that he's the one they want.
Any thoughts on West Ham, Potter?
No, I agree with you. I think it's probably potentially the right job for him. I think it could be a good appointment. No major thoughts either way, but it was only a matter of time before Potter came back, and it's about the level for him, I'd say. But yeah, he's got potential to do all right. I should point out Lee Smith, who watches the show. Did you see his bet?
Yeah, I was going to put it down here.
Yeah, he was on Sean Dyche at 20-1 and 22-1 to be the next manager gone. He missed out by 24 hours, didn't he? Because Lopetegui got in there first. That's a kick in the balls, that is.
That is unlucky. He's not here tonight either. Where Smithy, come on. He would still drinking himself through it. That's disappointing. Yeah, that's a little bit unlucky, that. We might have to have a look at the next manager to get sacked now, because that market will be wide open again. So we'll try and have a gander at that next time there's an international week or something. But we've got the FA Cup to look at this week. The FA Cup third round, the round where the Premier League and Championship teams enter. Started tonight, was 3 games tonight. We got 2 games on Friday. And then there's boatloads on Saturday, some on Sunday, and Millwall v Dagenham on Monday night. Must be on the telly. As usual with these cup games, me and Baz haven't discussed what we've got. I did tip you off, Baz, yesterday because I made my picks and they're all down the divisions. So I didn't know if anyone wanted the bigger teams handicapped. I hadn't touched them. So I said to you, Baz, I haven't touched these teams. I don't know if you want to have a look, because we've got Arsenal, Man United, and then Liverpool, Tottenham. I didn't look at any of them. I've got a lot of Championship v League One games to look at. But where did you end up, Baz? How did you find the card? There's some good games, like interesting games, like proper cup games that might not be that interesting as betting propositions. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool, Accrington. Who else was there? There was a couple of just games like that. That, like I say, are going to be good games to watch, but not necessarily. Chelsea, Morecambe, not necessarily good betting propositions, Baz.
Well, yeah, I've got Premier League involvement in every one of my picks, so we should have a good mix of games, I think. But yeah,
right, okay.
I found all right, as you say. There's some decent games to look forward to, and I wasn't going to put a ladder out. I don't normally when we come to the cup games, but I found a cheeky little ladder to put out as well.
The first thing I'm going to do, I haven't done this game, but have you done the Tottenham game?
Nope. Well,
right.
Should we go date order? Have you got anything on Friday?
I'm just going to mention this first, Barry, because I haven't done the Tottenham game. However, obviously, we promote responsible gambling on this show. Do you know what price Tottenham are? Tottenham are away at Tamworth United on Sunday. Tamworth United, who are 16th in the National League. Do you know what price Spurs are, Baz, to win that game?
I'd take a guess at 1-6, 1-7.
1-7. Now, is that not the greatest 1-7 shot you've ever found in your life? It's life-changing, isn't it?
I mean, I don't get excited by a 1-7 shot, I'll be honest with you.
No, neither do I. But Tottenham half-time, full-time is 1-2. In terms of accumulated, there's worse 1-7 shots, that's all I'm saying. I'm not telling everyone to go and put $7,000 on and we'll all go on the piss with the grand that we win next week. But I couldn't believe that price. As 1-7 shots go, it's absolutely up there. In the 1-2 half-time, full-time, Tamworth got beat off Solihull Moors on Saturday. Tottenham beat Liverpool last night. I mean, you do the math, pal. 1-7. It's like finding money in the street. My games Oh, I've got nothing on Friday night. Have you?
I have, yes. So I'll go straight
Right,
in. Friday night game for me, just the one. But I've gone to the Aston Villa, the West Ham game, which is 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Aston Villa are 8-11, West Ham 3-1. Actually, price has changed a little bit. Aston Villa 7-10, West Ham 100-30, and the draw 16-5. Been a rough couple of weeks for West Ham. Heavy defeats to Man City and Liverpool, which was obviously enough to see the end of Lopetegui. Potter straight in, so we're going to get the new manager bounce on the way. And I think possibly we might. I think Villa on fire on all cylinders at the moment. They did get a win last week against Leicester, but 2-1, scraped past them. They've had defeats to Newcastle and Forest in recent weeks. And I just find them a little bit all over the place at the moment, Villa. West Ham, before those 2 defeats to Man City and Liverpool, had found a little bit of form. They had 8 points from their previous 4 prior to that. So the key for me, though, is the priorities for the teams. Villa are lagging a little bit behind the European spots at the moment. They'll be very keen to get back in those European places. They're also flying in the Champions League. They've got Champions League coming up again soon, and they'll want to give themselves every chance of going deep into that one. Got 3 away games in a row after this, 2 in the league, 1 in the Champions League. And history shows Emery isn't that bothered about these domestic cups. He's either isn't bothered or he's just not very good at them, because he hasn't gone past the 4th round of a domestic cup since he came to Villa. They've had a lot of home ties as well. So this one is at home. That doesn't matter. In the EFL Cup earlier this season, they went out to Palace at home. Last season in the EFL Cup, they went out at home to Everton. Only 2 years ago in the FA Cup, they went out to Stevenage with a home game. So they've got lots of form under Emery for going out early stages of the cup competitions. I think Potter can afford to have a go. West Ham aren't going to get dragged into relegation. They're not going to threaten the European spots. I don't think they'll take this serious. And I'm just not sure whether Emery will be as bothered about it, because he hasn't been in previous years. I don't mind West Ham as an underdog at 130, but you can get them to qualify, which I think is probably slightly safer way of playing it. 2-1 for West Ham to qualify against Villa is the pick. And I like that beforehand, but the managerial change just adds that little bit to it as well. So yeah, I'll take West Ham to qualify over Villa at 2-1.
Completely agree with you, Baz. I certainly wouldn't be interested in backing Villa. We took them on against Palace in that League Cup game when Palace went through at a big price. The West Ham players, I imagine, have breathed a huge collective sigh of relief over the next 24 hours, and will just go into that game a little bit more carefree. My only issue is the Jared Bowen injury, because he's our best player. He's clearly the best player. And you take him out, it's going to be a problem. But Fulkrug's come back in, scored a couple of goals. He's capable, bit of a lump, but he scores goals. Kudos. Yeah, they're absolutely live in this pass. I like that. Like that a lot. We go across to Saturday. I don't know how we're going to do this, Baz. We just take turns. The times are absolutely all over the shop. I'm going to... What the fuck time is this on? I've no idea where I picked these games. Can't even find it. Saturday. Can't find it. Oh, no, it's on Friday night, Baz. That's why. Right, I have got one tomorrow night. I've got the other one. There's 2 games. This is a 7:45 kickoff. And it's Wycombe Wanderers taking on Portsmouth. Now, I have got 3 games here, which are League One. It's home to Championship. And I'm about to make a case for the Championship team in this game because they're from a higher division. But then I'm going to go on to make the case for 2 League One teams. So you might think I've got a bit mental. The difference is the price. Is the price here. Wycombe are going into this game at 6-5 plus 120. The draw is 12-5 plus 240. And Portsmouth are 21-10 plus 210. And I just think you have to give the team from the higher division a chance at north of 2-1 Portsmouth. Wycombe are playing well. Second in League One. I actually made these notes yesterday. They've been in a great run of form where they've only had one defeat in the last 22 league games. They actually lost, was it last night or Tuesday night? They lost on Tuesday night to it's home to Huddersfield Town. Herbie Kane scored a great Buddy Holly dip in far corner. So they did throw in a home defeat, actually, just this week. Portsmouth aren't brilliant. They're 21st in the Championship. They've only won 5 of their 24 games, and they've only won 1 away game. But there's still a gap in class for me, Barry. At 21-10, I think Portsmouth, they're looking to tie up the deal for Isaac Hayden from Newcastle. We know he's a good player. So I've kind of done what you did, Baz. I think Portsmouth are great at 21-10, but 11-10 to qualify, I think it's a good bet, plus 110. There's no extra time or penalties in these. No extra time or replays. It's going straight to penalties. I just can't have the... That's one of the biggest gulfs in class is that gap between Championship in League One. We often talk about that when we do our AFL preview shows. I think Portsmouth have to be live at that price, Baz.
Yeah, don't mind that.
Okay.
So we move on to Saturday. Are you waiting for me to say something?
I've got no idea what time my games are, Baz. If you want to say something, you say something.
I don't know what's going on with you. Have you got any more ads to do at this point, or you want me to crack on?
Should we do that? Go on then. In brilliant, this award winning. I'll tell you what. Idris on YouTube, Baz, was having a right good moan about the Idris. Now I was disappointed with Idris because Idris has been in the live before. He's been in the comments before. I remember, unless it was another Idris. And that's unlikely. So Idris has been in the comments being nice as pie. He commented on YouTube that he found the introduction boring last week. He wanted the picks, but the fact after 22 minutes we were still talking about Iron Brew, Scottish comics and playing battleships. He found it boring. So 33 minutes into this, Idris, I don't know what you're going to make of it. I would advise you, however, to get in the sea. Underdog Pick'em. It's got one of the biggest menus for all sports. Underdog always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems. Underdog playoff best ball is now live. They're going to tournaments. Got $2 million in prizes up for grabs at just a $25 entry. NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR. Use our code PLGP to sign up and claim the special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. Right, I'm just going down my list, Baz. I can't be chewed with this. 6 o'clock on Saturday night is Leyton Orient against Derby County. Leyton Orient are 21-10, plus 210. The draw is 21-10, plus 210. And Derby are 13-10, plus 130. So, well, League One, it's home to the Championship. But you see the difference in the prices. Derby 13-10. Where I'm taking Portsmouth north of 2-1 here. Orient are absolutely flying. One of the form teams in the country, Leyton Orient. 8th in League One, but have won 7 of the last 8 games, including a run of 7 clean sheets in that. They've got the keepers on loan from Tottenham, actually, just a young lad. But I think he scored a goal, actually, a couple of weeks ago, late doors. But he's been in really good form. But Orient have scored goals as well. They've only blanked once in this little run. But they've scored 1 goal once, but they've scored 2 twice. They've scored 3 times, and they've scored 4 once. Derby are bang average, Barry. They've lost 3 in a row, including conceding 4 at Sheffield Wednesday. And the Orient team total, it's a big price. It's basically the same price that they ought to win the game. So we can kind of get the 2-2 on our side as well. The Orient team total over 1.5 is 2-1, Baz. I think Orient could get a couple of goals here past Derby. They've been free scoring lately.
I've got a colleague I work with who's a Derby County fan. I spoke to him today about football. I said, who he's got in the cup this weekend? He said, we'll get beat. We're playing Leyton Orient. So he wasn't confident. So
nice. That's good.
There you go. That works out well. Next up for me then, I've got 12 o'clock midday on Saturday. Bristol City v Wolves is my pick. Bristol City are 19-10 plus 190. Wolves 11-8 plus 137, and the draw 12-5 plus 240. Bristol City Championship. No, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Championship. Coming into this in good form, 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 games. However, I'm not being fooled by that. They've played 4 games against relegation contenders: Derby, Portsmouth, Plymouth, and Luton. So I think that's 4 sides in the bottom 7 or 8 of the Championship. So they've had a good little run of games, good results, but a bit of a favourable run. Before that, they had no win in 4. So I just want to sort of temper things a little bit in terms of their run. Wolves obviously had a bad one last week, 3-0 lost to Forest. But they've been in better form prior to that under the new manager. And I like Wolves here at 11-8. They were the same price, 11-8 a few weeks ago, away to Leicester. So why a similar price? What's the difference? Leicester are a better side than Bristol City is the point I'm making. And yet they were a similar price, 11-8, to go away to Leicester. Went and won 3-0. It's the thing with the FA Cup. You don't know what teams are going to be put out. You know, Wolves have got a relegation battle to contend with. I just think they're a decent price to a lower league side at 11-8. But I'm going to go for the goals. One I've liked all season with Wolves is their team total, and it's plus money still. Over 1.5 Wolves goals is 11-10. So that's where I've gone. Over 1.5 team total for Wolves at 11-10.
Yeah, I was tempted. I looked at that game, Baz, but I couldn't pull the trigger on it. But I don't mind it at all. Barry, game on. Battleship's on. If you remember, last episode was absolutely thrilling, where Barry had a hit and then a miss. And then I followed it up with a hit and then a miss. It was absolutely incredible. Had a lot of letters and postcards about it. Barry, it's your turn.
Right, where was I? Okay, H8.
That is a miss. You've gone the wrong way there again. Unlucky. Yeah. What do you mean there? It is unbelievable. Well, believe it. I'm going to have a go at... Oh, no. F8.
F8. Miss.
Oh. Absolutely incredible drama there. Fantastic stuff. Right then.
The listeners have just let out a cry of relief. Yes, it's over within 20 seconds this week. Brilliant.
Unbelievable stuff. I'll tell you what, there's been price movement in my next game here, Baz. 3 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm disappointed Lee's not here because I half-picked this game to get Lee involved. Is Reading against Burnley. Reading are 6-1 to win this game. Burnley are 3-1. The draw is 3-1. Burnley are 1-2, minus 200. And I want a little bit of Reading here. Reading, they're in decent form. They're 6th in League One. They've won 3 of their last 4. And crucially, Baz, they're really, really good at home. They've won 9 of their 11 league games at the Mad Start. Is it still called the Majeski? What's it called now? Probably called something like the fucking Crystal Homes Sherbet Stadium or something. Burnley are going well in Championship. I think the word to use, if you're being kind with Burnley, is that they're pragmatic, which is just a posh way of saying they're really quite dull. They're very boring. Scott Parker in his mildly offensive knitwear. It's got them organised, but that's about it. Loads of 0-0 draws in there. And the priority is promotion. And they're in a little group of 4 at the top. I just think they're going to make changes. Reading are absolutely live. I've got them down on the money line here because they were 21-4 when I looked, but they've actually drifted all the way out to 6-1, which is going to make the price of them to qualify a little bit more palatable as well. So I'll just drag that up here. To qualify, Reading at 3-1, Barry. I absolutely love that. This is my play of the weekend. I like Reading at a big price. It's home to Burnley, Barry.
Yeah, never looked at that one. Have you got anything else for Saturday?
Oh, I don't know, do I? Fucking hell.
What's your next one in your list?
Yeah, but I didn't make them in any order, did I? Yes, I have. 2 o'clock on Saturday. Do you want me to do that one?
Yes, carry on.
This is poor, this. It's a good job no one ever listens to these FA Cup episodes, Baz, because this would be the death knell of this show. Andy's joined us. Andy Williams, welcome along. 2 o'clock on Saturday. That's a weird kick-off time. Leicester City are taking on QPR. Leicester are 11-20, minus 180. The draw 16-5, plus 320. QPR 17-4, plus 425. I don't want to bet Leicester at all. Not at this price. Well, not at any price, frankly. They showed a few signs of life, didn't they, under the new manager early on? I think, but they were lucky. And they're still regularly getting beat, and they can't defend. That hasn't changed, really. QPR, again, one of the championship form teams. They've only lost once since November the 9th. That's 11-game streak, Barry. Their away form is rubbish, I'll give you that. Absolutely shite. But they're on the improve. QPR are absolutely on the improve. Leicester have got a teeny tiny squad. If they end up with, who was it, Oliver Skip and Hamza Chowdhury or someone in the middle of the park, QPR can duff them up here. QPR 17-4 plus 425. But the pick, again, we've done this a lot, Baz. QPR to qualify is 5-2 plus 250. I like the Super Hoops Bars on Saturday.
Okay, and who's your final game?
Southampton, whatever day that is.
Southampton at home?
Southampton are at home on Sunday afternoon, yeah.
Right, well, I'll fire into Sunday then, because I've got a couple of picks left. So I'll start off with the Arsenal-Man United game, which is the big one, obviously. Arsenal 8-11, Man United 4-1, and the draw 5-2. And the first thing to look at really here was Man United's win over Liverpool last week. I know they didn't win, but if you look at the stuff on social media, you might be forgiven for thinking they'd gone and won that one. Brimming with confidence of them lot this week. I spoke to a Man United fan, I know, who was absolutely like, I spoke to a Man United fan the other day who said really looking forward to the game, the FA Cup game against Arsenal at the weekend. I was like, Man United fan, and you're really looking forward to it? I was like, Christ, that 1-1's done a lot for your confidence, hasn't it? But as I say, it was a good result, good performance against the best side in the league, who also happened to be in a little bit of a bad patch. And all of a sudden meant to think everything's clicked into place for Man United. No, don't think so. I mean, they're underdogs, 4-1. So if you fancy them, fair enough. Not with my money. I just thought, before that result last weekend, before Man U got the 1-1 against Liverpool, and they were in absolutely terrible form, I think what price would Arsenal have been for this game? And it would surely have been a lot shorter than 8-11. Winning away at Arsenal isn't for everyone, Malcolm. Not many teams do that. Newcastle did it the other day. They were the first team to win there since April last year. And there aren't many teams who've even gone and got a draw at the Emirates either. Arsenal's home form is very, very good. Newcastle had to play very, very well to get that result the other day. Arteta probably needs a win more than Amorim. I'd say Amorim's not going to be bothered about cups. He got knocked out of the AFL Cup and said he didn't care. That wasn't important to him. Bigger things for him to worry about. Arteta, Arsenal fans are desperate for a trophy. And if he doesn't get one, he's going to come under a bit of pressure. Their AFL Cup is hanging by a thread. And if they get removed by Man United team at the first hurdle, he'll come under fire a little bit. I think they'll win, though, Arsenal. I think if any team was going to struggle against this Arsenal team and their set pieces, it's Man United. Fuck me. Yeah. They conceded 2 direct corners in the space of a week, not long ago. And they've still got an Argentinian dwarf playing at centre-back. I think that would concern me, the corners thing. We know Arsenal's just going to throw everything at them in that sense. Arsenal, I mentioned last week, struggling against top half sides. That's not an issue here. Man United are on the top half side. And against bottom half sides, Arsenal have won 9 of 10 this season. Everything points to Arsenal. It's a little short, but 8-11 just looks a very good price for Arsenal. Nice and simple. Arsenal beat Man United at 8-11.
I think it's a great price, Barry. You're right. The prices would be much, much more contracted had kind of things gone to form. Maybe Man United obviously looked better last week, and the Fernandez, Manu, who else played? Oh, Ugarte instead of Casemiro next. So that's a huge, huge, huge upgrade. So maybe they found something there. I agree.
But they weren't.
You've got to see it more than once. So because it's the back four, I don't trust Maguire. I don't trust De Ligt. He's a right lump. The rest of them, they proved they can't defend regularly. And you're right at set pieces. I think they're a really good price. You need to see a little bit more from Man United. I'm not ruling it out. 4-1's a terrible price for them. Even if you wanted to back them, you'd want 6, 7, 8-1, something like that. So I agree. Ryan in the chat agrees with me as well, Baz.
I'm saying they weren't playing Casemiro and Eriksen every game, though. Let's not pretend they've suddenly found the key. That was one game against us where they played those two. Ugarte was playing before that as they were losing games to Spurs, Forest, Wolves, Bournemouth, anybody else that come along. So yeah, I'm not having it.
It's a couple of women kissing and cuddling on my telly, Baz. Don't know what all that's about. 4:30 on Sunday is Southampton against Swansea City. Southampton are 3-4, -133. The draw is 3-1, and Swansea are 31-10 plus 310. I just want to fade the Southampton defence here. They've conceded 5 times at home in 3 of the last 4 games. That's incredible. If you challenged the team to do that, they couldn't do it. They're an absolute shambles. I'm not sure the new manager will want anything to do with this competition either. They sort of, he's known for being a little bit more stoic, but it hasn't really made any difference apart from one game. Swansea are right in the middle of the championship table, but the regular scorers, they're averaging 1.5 goals per game in the last 8. I think the price for them to score twice is very fair, Baz. 9-4 plus 225. You've seen how they're going to not do anything different. I don't think they've got the squad to make loads of changes, but they just can't defend. It's absolutely endemic. So I think Swansea will have a go at them. I've picked it. You might have noticed, Baz. I've got a shitload of underdogs here. I've got Portsmouth. I've got Orient. I've got Reading. I've got QPR. I've got Swansea. 5 out of 5 is going to be a long shot, but 2 of them can get me into profit. So yeah, I'm going to add Swansea onto my 5-game card. 2 goals or more, 9-4 plus 225.
Yeah, I can trump all of your underdogs with my final pick. Where are we?
Is it a big dog?
It's a Sunday, and I'm finishing off with a big dog. You've got to have a big dog in the
Is it a big money line dog? Can I find it?
You'll find it. You'll know where it is, but don't spoil it.
Okay, I can't find you. It's 1 or 2.
We're going on Sunday. It's Ipswich v Bristol Rovers, Malcolm, is where I've gone. Because I'll give the prices out first. Actually, look at a bit of movement because they were a bigger price than this. Shop around, you'll get a better price. Ipswich were 1-5, Bristol 12-1, and the draw 21-4. I mean, what are they now? They're showing 2-9, 6-1 the draw, 9-1 Bristol Rovers. Shop around, you'll get a bigger price. Ipswich were a team I tried to fade last year in the Cup, and that was because they were flying in the Championship, entirely focused on the promotion push, weren't bothered about the Cups. And it's a similar story here, really, just a different twist on it. Survival is the priority, and I expect they'll make a lot of changes. They were knocked out last year by Maidstone in this round. AFC Wimbledon put them out of the EFL Cup earlier in this season, in the first round, I think. So they've got form for going out of these cups to lower league sides. And when I looked, it was 12-1 for Bristol Rovers as the underdog here. I wasn't bothered how Bristol Rovers were going. I just thought 12-1 was a big price to take on against Ipswich. So it's more of a fade of Ipswich than any sort of confidence in Bristol Rovers. Ipswich are a team to take on. If you go looking for a big dog, it's Bristol Rovers this weekend. Currently showing at 9-1, but I think if you shop around, you might get a better price. I'd seen 12-1 around earlier. So yeah, Bristol Rovers to beat Ipswich, 12-1.
that kind of shines a spotlight on that price for Tottenham earlier on, where Ipswich are 1-5, and Tottenham are 1-7. Like, I just say I'm not going to have £7,000 on, but if I had it lying around, Baz, it would fucking hell. I would definitely have £8,000 by 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. I'm done, Baz. You got anything else?
Yes, I've got a ladder. I wasn't going to do a ladder. We don't normally do any exotics on these cup shows, but I did find a little ladder that I liked. And it's a Liverpool v Accrington Stanley. Liverpool will make a few changes, and second string team will undoubtedly start. And it's one player who I think will come in, who I'm going to take for a little shot ladder. It's Harvey Elliott.
That's what I was thinking, Baz.
Loves a shot. He's only started once since returning from injury. He scored in that one. That was an AFL Cup game against Southampton. So I'm going to go for Harvey Elliott shots on target. 2-1 for Harvey Elliott to have over 1.5 shots on target. It's 7-1 for him to have over 2.5 shots on target, and 20-1 for him to have over 3.5 shots on target. So yeah, just a little cheeky little ladder on the Liverpool v Accrington game. Harvey Elliott over 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 shots on target.
Nice, Baz. That is well thought out. Anything else you want to tell the people about? I am all I'm done and dusted here.
No, that's it.
That's it. Right. Okay, champion. Thank you very much. Good luck, everyone, with your bets. I hope we get some good games. We get some. We get a couple of shocks and all that sort of malarkey. There's a full Premier League slate next midweek, so Sunday night potentially, Baz.
Yeah.
We can come back and do this. Thanks everyone for joining us. We know the FA Cup games, the cup shows in particular, aren't our bread and butter, but we try and keep ticking over when things like this happen. And there's definitely some winners in here. Quite a lot of underdog players. So choose accordingly, or have £7,000 on Tottenham. Up to you. Keep your eyes peeled for the scheduling, like, rate, and review. We do appreciate all the comments are still coming in on Spotify, etc. In the meantime, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.